From one trader turning $80,000 into $180,000 to another trying to gamble his way out of debt. We are going to go over the most insane trades of this week. A trader who goes by the name of Zin1422 turned just $80,000 to $188,000 in about 1.5 years, leveraging with margin. In the past 3 months, he saw by 715% or $779,000, bringing his account all the way up to $188,000, with his chart looking very consistent. Most of his gains came from SoundHound AI shares with about a $300,000 gain. He made another $300k from Palantir shares, which he bought at an average buying price of $19.66, with Palantir now trading at more than $70. The rest of his gains came from Rocket Lab, Hims & Hers Health, and SoFi Technologies. And he was able to make such a huge gain because he invested $80k into Palantir and turned on margin. He used those unrealized gains and put it in Rocket Lab. He used those unrealized gains and put it into Hims, then SoFi, and then SoundHound. But originally he traded on E-Trade. He saved up 10k, which he invested into ABBV. That's how he turned 10k into 20k. And then he sold it and bought Palantir at $9 to $10. It went up to around 80 to 100k. Then he transferred his account to Robinhood and enabled margin. They gave him 100k to play with. He used that money to invest in more Palantir at around $30 and it kept rising. Then they gave him more margin and he used margin gains from every stock that he gained from to the next stock, and now we're here. A trader who goes by White Lightning 096 tried to gamble his way out of that, but it didn't work. Now his account is cancelled with an outstanding balance, with his payment due on December the 4th. About a year ago he dumped about 5k into a company that he may or may not have had private knowledge of. He thought he was so smart. Turns out that less than a month later all his shares were worthless because the company filed for bankruptcy. Fast forward a couple of months and his position was eliminated, and he's been searching for jobs but he's been unemployed ever since. That 5k was a big chunk of his savings, and with him being unemployed and having bills to pay, he quickly ran out of cash. He racked up about $12,000 in credit card debt and needed money fast. So naturally he started gambling. He gambled by using this same credit card on some sketchy online casino. He didn't deposit much at once, usually only $100 or so, but man, he realized he had a gambling addiction once he spent over 4k on this site. He was making the money back, but then he was chasing his losses and lost it all. Then autopay resumed on his card and tried to charge his entire balance, which he didn't have, and Amex cancelled his card. He was still making his monthly payments before that, so now he's 16k in debt on this card, 3k on another, and has about $100 to his name. He sold his computers and guns and anything worth money, but now he doesn't know how he's going to pay his bills this month. A trader who goes by the name of Elfstone Maven 728 finally hit 100k in Robinhood after years of grind. On the all-time chart he saw by 75% or $47,000, bring his account up to $109,159.74. After a decent start he lost most of his money, only to slowly perfect his strategy and make it all back and more in a very short time. He started this journey back in 2017 in Robinhood. He rode the highs and lows and at one point even saw his portfolio drop to just 1k back in July 2022. But here we are in 2024 looking at 110k and up 47k all time. He still can't quite beat the benchmark yet, as SPYs got him outpaced in the long term. Looking back, it's been one heck of a roller coaster. As you can see on his all-time chart, there were some major dips along the way. The journey wasn't linear. There were times when he felt like the portfolio was just bleeding out, but he stuck with it. He made some strategic moves and kept adding funds whenever possible. After starting with the modest account balance of about roughly 18k back in Q4 before 2017, he steadily added funds to his portfolio over time, especially after seeing triple-digit returns in Nvidia, SQ, and double-digit gains in a bunch of blue-chip stocks. He also held some Chinese stocks like Luckin Coffee before it got delisted from the Nasdaq. He got the account to a decent level. Then he went completely regard and got into options. He did well initially, but then he hit the rock bottom, reaching as low as $198. He added about 9 to 12k over the next few months just to be able to trade again. He didn't use options, but he did use margin money to almost double his account first. Then, as the bull market kicked in, after bottoming out in October 2023, the account continued to rise. Later, he employed slightly more aggressive option strategies to reach his current position. Key moves in the past 18 months have been all about researching a ton more and making mostly informed decisions, mixing with some gut feeling, using all the reputable sources like Reddit, StockTwits, Yahoo Finance, various research firms, reports, and so on. A trader who goes by now foreign BAF 4640 has lost it all. He is down by 94% or $159,155 and is left with about $8,700. After his account made a small jump, it just tanked, stopped, and tanked again. Clearly he has a problem. He is 29 and lost practically everything he saved. He was up by 30k on a 80k account and then went downhill from there. He's having a hard time accepting this loss. He makes about 120 to 140k a year if that's any help, as pretty much 2 bad options trades took him out, with those options being Tesla puts. A trader who goes beneath eternally stable turned just $400 into $19,000 with Archer. He bought the options with a strike price at $5 all the way back in October and now he's up by 4,100%. He bought the options because there were a couple of DDs on the stock and it looked promising, so he bought in. A trader who goes beneath Bountiful Doggo turned 3k into 84k. On September the 5th, his account was worth about $3,200, but with his account steadily rising, he's now up by 2,250% or $80,000, bringing his account all the way up to $84,260.32. Back in August, he managed to swing trade a couple of thousands to 18k by playing AMD earnings and Palantir. He was greedy and thought he couldn't lose. He ended up YOLOing 90% of his portfolio into HIMS and got absolutely reamed, and that 18k vaporized into 3k. He was depressed, defeated, and pissed. But most importantly, this was a wake-up call. No longer was he going to YOLO or invest in companies he didn't believe in. He spent the next couple of hours researching stocks on WallStreetBets and StockTwits, and discovered Rocket Lab, which was trading at around $4 at the time. He YOLO'd his remaining 3k into $7 calls expiring in January 2025. The rest is history. He has learned from a lot of regards here about squandering life-changing money, in particular the guy who went from 1k to $1 million and soon to zero. Options was just a mean to come up quick. He's now investing only shares from now on and is all in 3k Rocket Lab shares and 1k Archer shares. A trader who goes beneath Cattle Famine had an awesome week. He's made $185,154 by trading lots of options. He's saying that Robinhood's new Legend upgrade was incredibly instrumental in tracking the trends and he hit them at as close to the high as possible. He's been day trading options and it doesn't matter if it's a put or a call. It's scary as seeing a 10k plus swing in seconds, while he usually holds them for less than 2 to 3 hours. But he wasn't always trading that well. At first he was losing a lot of money, until he suddenly made his account skyrocket, making him a 1,511% or $169,000 gain. From his experience, you can pick almost any stock with daily volume over 1 million and options available and do similar plays. There are apps and flows most often in the first 2.5 hours of the day and again for the last 1.5 hours. A trader who goes beneath Sandoval 713 bought Bitcoin in 2017 for about 3k. He sent it to a different wallet, then back to Coinbase, and is now above 100k as he literally turned 3k into 100k. He bought the Bitcoin from June the 3rd to June the 11th, with his position now being worth $103,432.64. And if you want to see what happens when you short Nvidia to early, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.